MLB opening weekend is officially in the books, and if it's any indication of what the rest of the season will look like, we're in for another wild ride. It's a long season, 162 games of ups and downs, and we're already seeing rookies make their mark. Some teams have come out with statement wins, while others are still struggling right out of the gate. So with all that in mind, what should we actually take seriously from opening weekend, and what is just early season noise? I'm your host, Brianna Langberg, alongside Sawyer, Bogaty, and Gina, Scarpa, and we've got it all covered here on Penn State Sports Night. So guys, I want to start out. Teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, who are picking up right where they left off last season, what can we actually take away from the weekend, and what's kind of too early to judge?
Well, it's no surprise that teams like the Dodgers or the Blue Jays have started off 3-0. You know, the Dodgers, they picked up Kyle Tucker and Edwin Diaz in the offseason. Admittedly, Tucker hasn't been great to start the year. You think he's hitting sub 200 still, but Diaz has 2 saves out of the 3 games versus Arizona. And as for the Blue Jays, Dylan Cease, 5 1/3, 12 Ks in his first start. That's elite stuff, and it's no surprise that they're 3-0. I really like the trajectory both teams are heading on, and who knows, man, you know, it's way too early to tell, but maybe we see a World Series rematch between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
Well, it could be interesting. Like you said, the Blue Jays right back where they started, they're having this no-quit mentality with unsung heroes like Ernie Clement and Andres Jimenez coming up with walk-off hits in games 1 and 2, and I think they just, like you said, Dylan Cease was great in his debut, and it was a really great acquisition in the offseason. But I want to move on to the Yankees, who in that AL East, you know, that bloodbath of an AL East division we have, the Yankees looked good in the 3rd straight season with a sweep of opening weekend, and they're gearing up for a full season of Cam Schlittler, who he looked good in his debut. But I want to talk about their offense a little bit. They were able to get the win on opening day 7-0 without Aaron Judge producing. He went 0 for 5 that day with 4 strikeouts. And we saw this Yankees offense shut down completely in 2023 when Judge went down, but it was really refreshing to see how their offense was able to come through and get the win even without him performing. He did have 2 home runs in the series, but he had 8 strikeouts, so he might be facing some WBC after effects, but we'll have to see as the season goes on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like somebody else to talk about who is facing those WBC after effects is Paul Skeens. Admittedly, he did not, it's not his fault for the outing that he had, only recording 2 outs versus the Mets on opening day, but it's just something to look at. And the Mets offense has been something that's like kind of been retooled, and I think their approach at the plate has been much different. They brought in Luis Robert, obviously, Bo Bichette, who hasn't been great, but Robert has been a surprise. He had a walk-off home run in the second game of the season, and his approach just looked different. He's taking more walks, he's taking more pitches, he's working more at-bats, and I really like what the Mets have done so far this year.
I mean, yeah, like you said, Paul Skeens, it's way too early for the reigning NL Cy Young, but only going 2/3 of an inning and giving up 5 runs, which the Pirates' defense was awful, so you can't even put all the blame on Paul Skeens. But then the Mets offense, they came out hot in the first game, but then they looked a little bit shaky later in the series. I mean, they had to go to extra innings twice with the Pirates, which isn't something you really want to see considering the way they retooled their offense in the offseason. Bo Bichette only went 1 for 14 with 8 strikeouts at the plate, but like we are saying, it is so early to tell.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about holes in the team a little bit, but with that, we got to look at the rookie class. They have definitely made their statement, and I think it's one of the best rookie classes we've seen in a long time. Who really stood out to you from the weekend? And like I said, where do you see them filling in those gaps on their teams?
I want to start with Chase DeLauder, for the Cleveland Guardians. He's on pace to make Guardians history and could potentially be the first outfielder to hit 25 home runs in 20 years. So he hit 4 home runs in his first 3 games, and he's really showing right out of the gate what he can do for the Guardians. He hit a go-ahead home run in the 10th inning on Saturday against the Mariners to put Cleveland ahead 6-5. And then I want to move on to Carson Bench from the Mets, who came out of the gates with power. His first career hit was a home run, and that earned him a curtain call, and he's quickly becoming a fan favorite at Citi Field. I mean, it only took a couple games, and we're already seeing that. And Mendoza said that Bench is going to get some time in center field, so it could be interesting as the season progresses. I think the future is definitely bright for both of these rookies.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mets fans love their homegrown stars. Another homegrown star they have is Nolan McLean, who just graduated from prospect status. He's now officially a big leaguer. He's got enough service time, and he had a pretty good start in his first start versus the Pirates. He went 5 innings, struck out 8, did surrender 2 earned runs. 1 due to a homer. But I thought he looked okay, but you talk about the WBC, and it's going to be a conversation that people have in the future as will these stars continue to play in the WBC, because you see the little bit of fatigue. Judge, Skeens, McLean, but the other rookie, and arguably the most impressive, I don't want to diss Chase DeLauder, Kevin McGonigal. 4 hits in his debut, then had a home run robbed in Game 2 by Jackson Merrill of the Padres, but did have the go-ahead hit in that very game. He's been really impressive, and he's had a really good start to the year.
So another conversation we have to have is something that's changing baseball completely, is the ABS system. I know it has a lot of controversy, but frankly, it has shown to be very successful. So I want to know what your guys' opinions on it, and not only that, but how it's going to evolve the strategy of the game.
Look, I like ABS. I really do like ABS. I think it's better for the players. I think it's better for the coaches. The only people that don't like ABS are the umpires. And to that, I say, be better at your job, right? No, I'm serious. I know it's funny, but I'm serious. A guy like C.B. Buckner, who said he'd rather retire than continue umpiring under ABS, it is nobody's fault but yours. I understand it's a really hard job. I don't envy umpires by any means. But you can't make excuses for yourself. If you want to call big league games, if you want to call balls and strikes, you have to be on point, and he wasn't.
I agree with you completely. The ABS system is definitely holding umpires accountable, and they don't really like it. I mean, C.B. Buckner, home plate umpire between the Reds and the Red Sox, had 6 calls overturned. I mean, it's the first series of baseball for the year, and we're already seeing this many calls overturned, and 2 of those were in the same at-bat by Eugenio Suarez, where C.B. Buckner rung him up twice and was wrong on both calls, giving Eugenio Suarez another chance. So it just shows what is happening already right out of the gate with ABS, and then it has been successful, like you said. I mean, Aaron Judge was able to use it and then hit a home run in that same at-bat that pitch got overturned. So I think it's adding value to not only the hitters, but catchers too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, catchers have over a 60% correctness rate, as for hitters and pitchers are both hovering right around that 40% line. So I think managers are definitely going to want to leave it to their catchers to make these decisions, as they only get 2 challenges a game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you guys. I do think it's going to add to the excitement of the game, too. It makes it more interesting. From undefeated starts and rookie breakouts to new systems redefining the game, opening weekend gave us a lot to unpack. But in a 162-game season, we have only just scratched the surface. The real question is how much of this actually carries all the way to October. Thank you for watching Penn State Sports Night. For Sawyer, Bogaty, and Gina Scarpa, I'm Brianna Langberg. Have a great night.
YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.